Oh yeah, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining this EU level roundtable discussion that I have the pleasure to moderate, addressing connected, cooperative, and automated mobility, as the title says. The event is organized by FAMN, the French Automotive and Mobility Network that I have the chance to represent here in Brussels. Just to pitch in 1 minute what's FAMN purpose and history, I wanted to remind that this is above all an office in Brussels that has been established for almost 5 years now, having been active on a quite various range of mobility and automotive industry-related topics, notably promoting R&I and SMEs-oriented approaches. You can notably notice that SMEs represent today 65% of FAMN members. Thanks to the joint efforts done by the 5 associations behind FAMN, so the 4 automotive and mobility clusters that you can see on the screen on the French automotive platform, we today have brought 1,500 members together at this stage, with a quite good covering, I would say, of the French territory, with 8 different regions we are based in, enabling, let's say, to be as close as possible from different innovative ecosystems at the same time. Let's come back to the purpose of the session. The idea behind today's meeting is to talk about CCAM policies, CCAM EU policies from various institutional and stakeholder group perspectives, addressing, for example, roadmaps, next steps, potential barriers, etc. And to do so, we have one hour on a quite dense agenda, including not only an institutional level panel with Françoise Gaspard, elected at the CCAM Partnership Board, with Andrea de CANDIDO, officer at the European Commission DG R&I, and 𝗪𝗿𝗄𝗍 from the French Ministry of Transport, but also 2 innovation case studies with 𝗍𝗿𝗆_𝗫𝗍 from 𝗲𝗏 shuttle manufacturer and 𝗪𝗵𝘆𝗁𝗍 from the Vedecom Institute. Just one practical point I wanted to mention. It's about the typical question: will the slides be sent? The answer is obviously yes. It will be done to all the participants immediately after the meeting. And by the way, this is also recorded on the replay. The replay will be posted on the FAMN YouTube channel as soon as it will be, let's say, cleanly edited. And last point, everybody's video and micro, except for panelists, are normally automatically turned off and locked, but feel free to ask your question in the chat if necessary. That's all from my side. I don't want to spend more time for the intro. I suggest to directly dive into the topic by leaving the floor to Andrea for introducing CCAM partnership from the Commission's perspective. Aymeric, do you want to say something before?
Yes, the slides are not moving on my side, so maybe it's a technical problem, but I'm still on the slide 1, but maybe I'm the only one.
Is it moving right now?
Not on my side.
On my side, they are moving.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. So I will share the last version of your slide, Andrea. Just 1 second. Okay. should be there. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. So, Mathieu, thank you very much for inviting the Commission to participate to this event here today. It's a pleasure to be with you. Pleasure to see many names that I know very well amongst the participants. Hope we have also the chance soon to meet again in person. My name is Andrea De Candido, and I am in charge of CCAM development within the Directorate General of the European Commission dealing with research and innovation. And in the next 10 minutes or so, I will try and give you a brief overview of what we're doing on CCAM in the Commission and what are the challenges actually that we mainly see from our side. Next slide, please. So, in order to support the transition towards automation on road mobility, we have set up, as you all well know, a partnership. A partnership which means a table where we have on one side the Commission and on the other side the CCAM Association that is representative of a number of key stakeholders, not only industry, of course, but academia, road operators, public transport operators, and many other very important entities that are involved in this effort. What we've put on the table are 500 million euro for 7 years from the side of the Commission, which are equal by an equal amount of funding that is committed from the side of the members to the CCAM Association. And what is the purpose of this partnership? It's really to, through research, accelerate the transition towards automation throughout Europe, and to do it in a homogeneous and synchronized way as far as possible throughout the whole of Europe. Next slide. Why have we decided to put in place a partnership is because this is an innovation-led effort. We could have simply continued through collaborative research projects, meaning making sure that in our work program we would have topics dedicated to CCAM, and maybe things could have happened in the same way. But we see that purely putting money on the development of new technologies is not necessarily the best solution, especially for an area like mobility and this transition towards automation. If you simply fund technology and you think that through technology then things will happen, the risk is that you have a sort of anarchy in the end as a result. And this is what we absolutely want to avoid. We want to make sure that these technologies that we are developing, that will be marketed and that are already being marketed, are going in the direction that we want them to go, and that actually lead to a better situation than the one that we have today. And an example of this anarchy that can happen if we do not do things with a top-down approach, I think is the case of trottinette in many cities, where a new technology, a new solution, mobility solution, which seemed extremely interesting, extremely easy, suddenly flooded all our cities across the world. And the result is that they have generated problems, and they still are in many places. And you've had the drastic solutions that have been decided in cities like Paris, but it's not only Paris that is facing problems with this kind of solution. So technology by itself is not sufficient. You need to decide, you need to plan, you need to regulate under which boundaries the technology or the solutions that are derived from technology can be effectively deployed. And we hope that the partnership, bringing together all the different stakeholders, including representatives from the relevant ministries of transport and so on, can help in achieving this objective. Next slide. And what do we see as main added value of these partnerships? First of all, we have that the end objective, as I was saying, the partnership is a table where all the relevant stakeholders sit together. And the end objective of this effort is something that is agreed with amongst all these relevant actors. So there is a taking ownership of where we want to go by all those that are sitting at this table. We have embedded in the partnership the state representative group. When we're speaking about deployment of many of these solutions, of course, the member states or even the regional actors are going to be at the forefront of this deployment. Therefore, we need to make sure that whatever we're developing is in line with the expectations of those that will need to deploy at a certain stage. And so the state representative group in the frame of the CCAM partnership is a group that is very active, and it's really acting as a bridge between national and European level. What we have is that one of the first things that the partnership has been able to achieve is that it has put together at this table entities that were not necessarily speaking to each other on a regular basis until that moment. It has favored the development or the agreement on a common dictionary, on a common language, a common taxonomy for CCAM matters. And also being able to speak one language, one common language, is already by itself a big added value. So it's really this synergy, this co-creation effort that has come in place thanks to the partnership that is representing an added value. And then last but not least, when we're speaking about projects, while under the normal collaborative research projects that we launch in the work program, under the framework program for research and innovation, the single projects have their own objectives, and yes, we do try to encourage collaboration, but it's not automatic. We see that the projects that are launched under the umbrella of the partnership feel being part of a bigger picture. They feel contributing to something that goes beyond the specific objective of their own project. And this leads to them being more inclined to better collaborate amongst each other and to be ready whenever possible, of course, to share the information, the knowledge that has been developed in their projects with other projects. Next slide. And what we have realized over the recent years, the recent couple of years, I must say, is that CCAM is not going to come out with a big bang. It's not, if you read documents that were published in 2017, 18, it seemed that by 2030, everything would be about automated vehicles. We would not see any more vehicles with steering wheels on European roads. Well, it's clear today that that will not be the case. The transition towards automation is a very, very long process that will go most probably into 2050 and beyond, but it doesn't mean that it's not already happening. We have concrete cases in which automated vehicles are being deployed, be these shared shuttles in urban environment, be it bus lines. I mean, we had the possibility, thanks to Françoise, to also take a test, a ride on the bus that is being deployed currently in Paris, the bus line, and so on and so forth. So what we see is that we have different use cases, so different contexts in which CCAM is going to be deployed. And each of these use cases has a different temporal framework. And progressively over the next years, we will have a progressive introduction of automated services in different situations, be it in logistics, in urban environment, on highways, for valet parking, and many other things. What we have as a challenge from the side of the partnership, or from our side as Commission and putting the money on the table, is we don't have money for everything at the same time. The resources we have are limited. So we have to look into where do we want to concentrate the effort? Where do we want to already go close to deployment? What do we need to still fund in terms of technologies to bring them to a sufficient maturity level that then can lead to pre-market? And this having in mind, what is the added value, and this is very important for us in the Commission, of what we are funding. We don't want to simply fund to make certain car companies sell more. That's not the primary objective of our effort. Our effort is in order to improve the mobility of people around Europe thanks to automation. That's our big objective. And then what we need to consider, which was not necessarily done in a few years ago, is that each of these different situations has its own specific business case. And in order to create the conditions for moving towards market, you need to absolutely understand the specific business case, which will be different if it's about last mile delivery services, if it's long haul freight transportation, if it's a mobility in urban environment. Each will have its reason to be, and you need to fully understand this in order then to be able to leverage the funding in the right direction. And lastly, we have the big question is how to then really go from research to long-term sustainable deployment, which is something that needs to be carefully considered and which has not yet been totally solved. Next slide. Just very quickly to mention that this is not only about research. We have regulation that is going, that is being developed at the same time, and it is an area where we actually demonstrate how regulation can go hand in hand with technology development. At European level, we have in 2022 we had the automated driving systems regulation that was put in place. That was the first regulation worldwide to foresee to authorize the type approval on level 4 vehicles. And more recently, in November last year, we had the ITS directive revision that made mandatory for member states to provide in the next years a certain amount of data that is critical for the deployment of automated vehicles. Just to mention one very, very silly example, but very, very critical, is to provide speed limits in real time in digital format. That is something that would seem very easy to do, but in reality it's very, very complex because this is then regulated at the decentralized at really the local levels. Next slide. And here I will now end my presentation, just to mention the next call that will be opening in May next year. You can see the topics that are there. You can see how many projects we intend funding and the budget that is there per topic. So if you have 2 projects for 12 million euro, it means each project of around the value of 6 million euro. I won't go in detail here. You have the slides. You can read it in our work program. So thanking you very much for your attention. I would end it here, and I'm ready to take any question you might have at a later stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And I think that the perfect person to complete this very interesting institutional presentation is someone from the CCAM association. So Françoise, you can take the floor and start your presentation. Let me just come back on the main deck. You will be able to see your
my slides, Mathieu.
Yeah, you can if you want.
No, you don't know. No. Do it because I have
okay.
connection.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. Firstly, I will try to not repeat what Andrea already said. I will speak, of course, a member of the partnership delegation of the CCAM association, and give you today the point of view of the private side of the partnership. So, as Mathieu said, I represent the Île-de-France region in Brussels, but also Île-de-France Mobilité, the regional transport authority. And I am a member of the partnership association delegation of the CCAM association as representative of membership category 3, local and regional authorities and transport authorities. You can go to the other slide, Mathieu. So, as Andrea already said, the association was created to support the European Partnership on Connected Cooperative and Automated Mobility, and I've been actively involved in the creation of the CCAM association, engaged in a partnership and drafting team from the very beginning, because I am and my region, we are a strong supporter of close cooperation between the public and private sectors for the benefit of users and, of course, in line with our public policy goals. Could you please? I will not come back on the vision and the mission of the CCAM partnership. Andrea already present you this vision that we shared. Just perhaps to tell you that for us it was very important to create this new partnership, because we were suffered about fragmentation of the research innovation effort in Europe, a lack of coherent longer-term vision and strategy for targeting systemic solution. Demonstrations were very limited, so this partnership, Europe needs a partnership on CCAM with clear objectives and effective coordination across research area. Next slide, please. So we have a mission, we have a vision, and we have also a partnership. So we have today more than 200 members composed this partnership. They represent diverse sectors such as industry, research, services, public and local authorities, transport authorities, association, and SMEs. And it was very important to bring together the actors of the complex cross-sectorial value chain, because this representation of all sectors allow us to work on this shared, coherent, and long-term research innovation agenda. Next slide, please. It is on I think that the slide is on what do we do. So the aim of the association is to accelerate the development of new technologies and deployment in real life. And the development of CCAM shall provide benefits for all citizens, and this full integration of CCAM in transport system. With this full integration, we expected positive impact for society, such as safety, environment, inclusiveness, competitiveness. Next slide, please. So we have a mission, vision, we have a membership, but we have also a structure. We have 7 clusters, structure the activities of CCAM partnership, organizing research innovation action to advance towards deployment readiness, while aligning perspective from road users, consumer, public policy makers, road operators, and industry. I will come back on the role of the cluster later. Next slide. So we have the structure, the mission, the vision, we have the membership, but we have also a roadmap, the SRIA, the Strategic Research Innovation Agenda. It is a roadmap for implementing the CCAM partnership and its objective. It provides a flexible background for identifying and defining core topics from research and innovation activities. And all these topics will be included in Horizon Europe work programs. This strategic document identifies the portfolio of activity of the partnership, measurable expected outcomes, deliverables, and milestones with specific time frame. So the content of the SRIA is specified in the work plans, which defines the concrete action to be implemented every year. And for example, all partners of the association have been called to collaborate in the revision of the SRIA in a concrete way. It is important for us to have to make a link, to have the link between the vision of the partnership, the members, to a portfolio of research innovation actions. For example, from my side as public authority, it's important for me to discuss with my colleague of the partnership to express my priorities, and that my priorities will be taken into account in this TRIA. So on the screen, you have the operational objectives that we have listed to address the problems that we have to solve. And these operational objectives are about what is to be delivered during the lifetime of the partnership, the concrete short-term result of the activities project funded, and these operational objectives are used in the CCAM partnership to assess the progress over time towards 2030. And on the slide on the left, you have the description of the expected impact. Next slide. So if I'm not wrong, you see on the slide how the clusters, the 7 clusters, contribute to delivering the operational objective of the CCAM. On the slide, you see how the CCAM association contribute to topics design of the CCAM call for project, published under a Horizon Europe framework, and you will find on the slide the selected project, the name of the selected project coming from the topic described by each cluster. Next slide. So as an example, you have on this slide the project already launched in 2021. So perhaps you know this project, but you are your partner of this project, and you can see from which topic they came from and which cluster they came from. Other example, next slide, the example of project started in 2022. And next slide, the project will be start soon. Project launch, it's 2 projects, the call were launched in 2023. Next slide. On this slide, you have the different call launched last year. The deadline was September. I think that we are waiting the response from the Commission soon. Next slide. Collaboration model. Next slide, please, Mathieu. So it is on the slide, you have the CCAM partnership implementation. The partnership is implemented through collaborative research innovation project, as already said, by the Horizon Europe program, and by also additional activities provided in kind by the partners. A number of activities such as coordination and dissemination effort, support to harmonization and standardization, international cooperation, etc., will be covered by both EU funding in different types of EU projects and complemented, for example, by in-kind additional activities. Next slide. So the benefit for members, it's well described on the slide. Perhaps I would like to speak about what is the benefit for me as public transport authority, as regional authority. For us, the transformation of the road transport system is not only an industry issue, but also a local and regional issue, and to address challenges such as air pollution, congestion, traveling costs, etc., road safety, noise pollution, to reach the ambitious goal of the Green Deal. The public sector, we have to collaborate very closely with the private sector. If not, I think everything will fall. So becoming a member of the association was a great opportunity for us to join the debate on the future of CCAM, and also to ensure that these new technologies, but not only the technology, but in general the services will be aligned with our public strategies. Next slide. outlook. So this is the next event, and you are more than welcome to join us at the conference on results from road transport research, RTR conference in Brussels in February. You will learn about Horizon Europe project result and what the next research steps. TRA, it is a conference transport research arena. And this the conference contribute to the discussion on how research and innovation can reshape the transport mobility system. And we will have also the 𝗖𝗍𝗂𝗏 symposium in Dublin. And this symposium is organized by the FAMN initiative and supported by the European Commission as well as the CCAM partnership. And this event will complement the CCAM session organized during TRA. Next slide. On the slide, you have the new CCAM work program. The call will be open at the 7th of May and be closed in September. So be ready to reply. Next slide, where to find us on the website, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. And if you want to join us, next slide, please, Mathieu, sorry. Application to join the CCAM association are still welcome, and do not hesitate to check the status and to fill in the form. Send this form to Martina Djugunu, our head of office in Brussels, and we'll be happy to welcome you to our next General Assembly for a presentation of your application. I think that it's all from my side. 10 minutes is very short to present our activities, but I'm ready to reply to any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Françoise. That was perfect. So we have had the European perspective, and now it will be interesting to get the French one with the 𝗖𝗿𝗄𝗏 presentation from the French Ministry of Transport perspective. Sorry. And you should see your slide on the screen.
Yes, perfect. I'm starting with a typo. This is obviously not a regulatory state if progress, challenges, and expectation, but it's a regularity state of progress, challenges, and expectation. It's very different. Today, I'm going to speak with my cap of the head of the automated vehicle divisions at the French Ministry of Transport. I'm also a member of the state representative group, but I will not talk with the cap of the state representative group collective vision. And I won't talk also with a global view, because I'm the national ministry delegate, but this is not share view. For today, I will present the status of France. So you will have some links to get our documentation if you want, for example, on the first page, but we can go to the next slide. In French, we have a strategy for the deployment of the automated and connected road mobility. We produce every 2 years a document, a release of this strategy. The way we are doing that is that each 2 years we produce that document, and we are trying to have an horizon of 5 years, maybe 10 in the future. And so we progress by updates. So this is the third release. The latest one was released in February of last year. What is common and what is different between our updates of our strategy? The common part is the principle you have on top left of the slide. The principles are very stable. This is safety first. We want to progress with the progress of the technology, and we want to address, survey, and manage all the topics around the acceptability. What is new in the latest release is now we want to pass a step between the experimentation, and we want to go to industrialization and commercial development. And for that purpose, we have defined a target. This is the first time we are defining a target in our strategy, and we want to deploy 100 to 500 first commercial automated service for passengers without onboard operator by 2030. So this is quite demanding and challenging, but we are trying to reach that goal. We have 4 priority action is a strategy and 1 support action. The 4 priority action are support the local authorities empowerment, because they need a lot of information to understand how it works, what are the use cases, if their territory can address, and so on. So this is a big things we are doing. We want to support the industrialization of vehicle and system supply, and we want to learn by doing. So that's why we support at the national level. We want to guide the connectivity deployment by stakeholders, because there are a lot of questions behind the connectivity and the deployment of the connectivity. We have already started some deployments, but we want to have a shared strategy on that and a plan to do it. And we want to complete the regulatory framework, because we are missing for the moment the deployment framework for the automated freight and logistics, but we are waiting for a decree at the beginning of this year. And there is 1 support action transversal to support safety demonstration with scale and some other regulation support. Next slide, please. How does it work at the national level? And I think you can consider that what I'm going to present could be in other country, even it can be different. For example, on the left side of the slide, this is the framework for experimentation. On the right side, this is the framework for the deployment. For testing, for experimentation, we have national rules, we have a national framework, and you don't need to have a type approved vehicle. So this is very national, and for the moment, each country has is on regulation on that topic. There are some initiatives to harmonize that at the European level, but we already have one. The level of decision is very different between experimentation and deployment. For the testing mode, on the left side, the one who asks is local initiative demand and monitoring. And we have a national regulation and decision, and this is quite centralized. You can have an experimentation for 2 years, renewable 1 time, and this is very centralized. On the other side, on the right side, we are trying to address. This is our objective. We are under the regulation 𝗖𝗍𝗄𝗋. Andrea told us before, and this is totally different. The decision is at the local level. We have a national regulation for the deployment, the safety demonstration, and so on. But the vehicle needs to be type approved. And for the type approval, this is done at the EU regulation level with a national decision to verify that the vehicle fulfills the specification done at the upper level. So this is fully different, but this is most decentralized, and in that case, the role of the national authority is very different. Next slide. just to give you a quick overview on the topic of the safety demonstration on the context of the deployment. So the steps are on the left. At first, we address the vehicle topic. And so we need a type approved vehicle under the regulation of the European Union. And then we consider first the technical systems, the vehicles, the equipment, and the control center. And then we see bigger with the route operating and maintenance rule. On the French regulatory framework for deployment, you need to release 3 files defining all the specification of the system and the test and so on. And you need to be approved by a qualified body, advice, and then that's the point of the local decision. You have a decision of the service organizer. So this is no more the national ministers that decide or not to deploy and to put the service running. And then in service operation, we have defined rules for monitoring and audit. So we can go to the next slide. I'm going very quickly with this one. This is the safety demonstration guidance. Some of them are released for descriptors, safety demonstration, and processes. When you have a OS, this is not already released. And we have a lot of work with especially GRC to harmonize between the European countries and to have the same rule from one member state to another one, but it can be binding or not binding guidances. We can go to the next slide. This one is very weighted, but just 3 key points. We are just ending one epoch, one period of experimentation. You can see here the 16 experimentation done on EVRA by the project SAM and INA. And from that and other initiatives under the EU funding or self-financement, we are doing of all of that common goals, lesson learned, and inputs for regulation and knowledge. Excuse me. Now we are on another period of experimentation. We are trying to address the deployment regime, and I won't go deep in the details, but we have a bunch of 9 or 10 new projects and new site of experimentation with different kind of ODD, with different kind of size of vehicle, with different size of fleet of vehicle, and so on. And we are going to manage that and looking forward. And we have a third round ongoing and another call for projects that is coming. We can go to the next slide. This is my conclusion. What are our strengths and what are for us the hot topics? Our strength is we think that there is a big potential for more inclusive and sustainable mobility service by the automated and connected road mobility. We think that there is a big, huge, promising worldwide market on that. We have a French vivid, innovative, and front-running ecosystem. You have this is materialized by the figure on the right. We think a front leader regulatory framework for the deployment by now. We are first class, we think, safety requirements and documentation, and we are progressing with a smart and adaptive management of of all that, and taking into account the rise of the complexity for environment, speed and maneuvers, and so on. What we think are the hot topics for us especially, but commonly by now, it's all the thing around the safety demonstration with the targets to be addressed for the safety context, what will be or are the mandatory scenarios, and how do we generate them, and how do we share them, and we want to shift from theory to practice. A big topic, but I've already said it on my first slide. This is the local authority empowerment and needs. We need to progress on that. We have a big topics about the interactions with the first responder. We have seen some example of the American context, and we don't want that. So that's why we want to address that part. And the last one was about the connectivity, what we need, what is not needed, and how we deploy that. So that's it in a nutshell and a short time. And here is the global ecosystems that are working on the topic, and you can find a lot of literature in English on the link at the back of my slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, 𝗪𝗿. Let's move to the case studies. Joël, you can take the floor. Firstly, what I suggest, because the time is running very fast, is to just pass the link of the YouTube video on the chat, and you can start your presentation just now.
Yeah, because the sound is not. So good afternoon. So my name is Joël Ensminger. So I'm in charge of business development at Mila. So what we will show you is the follow-up of what 𝗪𝗿 just mentions, that so we are in the phases of pushing for real deployments of shuttle in the French market. So Mila Group is design, manufacture and market automated public transport systems for people and goods. So we build shuttles, but also we provide operational supports in various markets. So what we will show you is a service that we are launching in Paris region. So we go further experimentation. So we are pushing and we are deploying a shuttle for a real service in a urban area close to Paris. So maybe you can show that. So we build shuttles from different range. These are electric vehicles, and this is the innovation, is to be able to show in a real context. So I think many of you maybe have already tested that shuttle. I can see your name. So we provide electric vehicles with automatization level 4 and without safety drivers, and we're driving in the range up to 400 kilometers, and they can in the authorized way drive up to 50 kilometers per hour in autonomous mode. We are currently also working, and we will be able by the end of this year to have our shuttle drive up to 90 kilometers per hour. So our vehicles are B-mode, so they can be driven manually and also autonomously, so depending on the context, and they are built also on type approved homologated platform, so M2 homologated platform. So maybe if you want the next slide, so yeah, on the next maybe activate the link to show the service. So we provide the complete range. So we master the complete value chain from the shuttle construction to the operation. So maybe if you can, the slide before.
This one?
Yeah, so to or the form with the link to make
Is it okay if we just continue, because I'm not sure we have the time for the video. That's why
it's 2 minutes, so it's not more. So I stop talking. I've told everything. I think it's important to show that, because it's real. Here you see the innovation.
Okay. So
it's not in my wording, but it's the reality.
We do it. Okay,
so
no
it's
problem.
Important. So we have shown several times. So that's it. So I insist because it speaks from itself. So it's one of our shuttles. So in autonomous vehicle, car driving. So our shuttles also don't need the infrastructure. They don't need lanes and all that. They are connected, sure, and 5G ready, and V2X is embedded. So you see the shuttle driving. So they can, in this context, they can be driven up to 50 km/h. So with all the capture perception system, they are able to detect the passengers and all that. So discuss with the traffic lights also. And all the intelligence is embedded. So you see also in all conditions they can be driven. So what we provide is a service so close to our premises and linking the premises and a commercial center. We can access the shuttle, also book a route, and that way so access and the shuttle and so we provide all the user experience from the booking of the service until the ticketing and everything is done inside. And the shuttle we provide can be in a car mode, so where all the passengers are seated, and also like city bus, we provide also a shuttle for freight. So seeing everything. That's it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So so what we're doing is also in the framework of the French ministry. So we have the authorization to drive the shuttle in an autonomous way. So all what has been said before has been respected, and this is the result of being in the ecosystem in France and having done all the steps. So that's it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Laurent, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. So just to finish the roundtable, I will introduce some aspect of VDCOM Institute, which is a research institute for new mobility and automated and connected vehicles. VDCOM is involved in several CCAM projects, for instance, MetaCars or Sunrise, but I will insist here on the V2X aspect because we have a strong expertise and cutting-edge solutions for V2X. Next slide, please. So our activities, first of all, we are involved in contribution in standardization bodies. We are in HC since 2014, the creation of VDCOM, and we are very active in work group 1, pushing for MCM and CPM, CPS and MCS services. And we have recently joined the 5G AA. We developed V2X units, both onboard units for in vehicles. We have our in-house developed V2X protocol stack for OBU and RSU. And we have also developed a V2X server in mobile edge compute. And we are also developing a V2X application focusing, as I said, on collective perception and cooperative maneuver, which are most beyond day 1.5 than 1.5 deliveries. We have developed also a 5G V2X French reference platform. We are one of the 2 French reference platforms for 5G V2X. The other one is in Continental in Toulouse. And we are participating in several national and European projects for CCAM. Next slide, please. So in this project, some of them are related to 5G technology for CCAM, for CITS, like 5G MED or 5G Meta and 5G Mobix that I will elaborate a little bit later. We have been involved for the French Ministry of Transportation of Indeed, which have defined some use case beyond day 1.5. We have been also involved in INSIT EV, when we are looking for dynamic EV charging of connected vehicles, electric vehicles. We have been involved, of course, in ADEM-SAM, and Telecom was one of the leaders of this project for BPI France, and also for ADEM, and so PAC V2X, which was the older one. Next slide, please. So just explaining the use case of 5G Mobix. So on the 5G V2X platform, we have developed 2 use cases on advanced cooperative driving assisted with infrastructure in a hybrid traffic, so both with automated vehicles and not automated vehicles. And we have demonstrated this use case, which takes some solutions that have been then put for cross-border issues. So the 2 use cases, the first one was assistance to automated vehicles for insertion in hybrid circulations. So thanks to augmented perception coming both from the roadside sensor and the vehicle sensors with CAM and CPM message, we have been able to do on the MEC risk analysis and to provide some guidance to the AV with MCM message. MCM is just under standardization at SE, and we are pushing for having this message ready as soon as possible for the use in automated vehicles. And the second stage was assistance for AV to line change and speed adaptation. So receiving some TMC restricted zone for AD or some speed limit, we have been able to provide some guidance thanks to the MEC to automated vehicle with MCM message. Next slide, please. So what are the technical challenges that we have addressed in 5G Mobix? We have, of course, developed a 5G OBU with some hardware with compacted with several radio, including 5G millimeters and PC5, LTE PC5 at the moment. And we have developed software for V2X application client with map, CAM, CPM, and MCM messages. So we have all the stack. We have developed also the V2X application server and client using the architecture that is provided by 3GPP and having this interface on the UU interface. We have experimented 5G millimeter wave in a 26 GHz band in Satori. We are now a network deployed in Satori, which is this 5G reference network for 5G V2X. And we have a UE evaluation kit. And we have now reached almost 1 GB per second downlink with this millimeter wave 5G. And we have developed several multi-SIM service continuity solutions for cross-border between 5G 30 meter and 5G 30 meter, 5G centimeters and 5G millimeters, and also with 5G centimeters and SATCOM, and with several solutions like with link aggregation and without link aggregation, which is very useful for cross-border when you have several networks from different operators and you have to manage the roaming at cross-border. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any question.
Thank you very much. Laurent, as the timing is already 3 minutes overpassed, what I suggest is that each panelist could maybe say a word of conclusion or just underline a very last point in 1 minute maximum. So Laurent, if you want, you can start to keep the floor, and then we'll continue the turn of the panelist table.
Thank you, Mathieu. So as I said at the beginning, so we have now joined CCAM association in November last year. I was in Brussels in November when I met Andreas, and we are very happy to be in this challenge and to be ready for new project for the next course of ASH 2020.
Thank you. Andrea, do you want to continue?
Yes, indeed. And maybe I can say just a few words of what comes after Horizon Europe, which is something that I get asked wherever I go. So I understand that could be interesting. Will there be a partnership? Will there be a continuation of the partnership after Horizon Europe? Well, unfortunately, what I need to answer is that I can't answer this question. This is not something that is decided by those that are dealing with the single partnerships. It's part of a much wider and political process that is going to start in the next years, that includes first an assessment of all the partnerships and other instruments that are in place to see what they have been producing in terms of added value, and then this will lead to another this will contribute to the decision on whether there is a need to continue with activating an instrument under the next framework program, with a strong discussion that will be taking place at political level on how many partnership overall, if any, do the member states want the Commission to activate? So the answer in short is it's too early yet to say what will be the future. For sure, however, I think we can, as I was saying, that this is a long-term effort that will not end. We will continue to see projects dealing with CCAM in the next not only framework program, but I think framework programs.
Françoise, do you want to bounce back on this very important stake of the future of the CCAM partnership?
Yeah, final word to the state. Okay. I would like to thank you, Andrea, for his support, because we have started a great collaboration with the Commission, and I would like to say to the audience that we are, I think, a great team, great association, and join us, because I think that if you want to continue to design the future of CCAM, you have to join us, because it's not only a question of funding, it's also a question of exchange of information to accelerate the concrete implementation of CCAM. We know that we are stuck with a lot of expectation. I think that we need to have low expectation today, but for sure we will arrive to implement completely CCAM on our territories, and what show Joël previously, it's very interesting. So join us. And about the future, yes, we need to advocate in favor of our partnership, because we are at the moment that the Commission will start the revision of everything, and we need to show that we have impact and results. So more we will be in this partnership, more it will be easy perhaps to keep the partnership in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Françoise. I can see that there is one question to Mila in the chat. What automated level are you shuttles for? Is it for Joël? Is Joël still there? No, I don't think so. So we can conclude with you, Aymeric, if you want. If you have to say something.
Just a few words. I think that in French we are quite very active on the regulation and all the documentation and so on. We don't want to keep that for us. So that's why we are very involved in several organizations, the SRG of the CCAM partnership. We have applied as a member of the CCAM association. We are doing other things, but we think that this is one reason why we have joined the CCAM partnership, is to share what we have done, to hear what the others are thinking about that, and to progress all together at the European level. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Aymeric. I think it's time to conclude. I would like to thank all the panelists and also the participants which have been involved in the chat. We had many questions, many activities. So the topic was I guess really interesting for you. Big challenges underlined on CCAM, the future of CCAM. So I think it was the good time to talk about this topic and to clarify what are the big stakes of CCAM and the future of the future of the EU funding in this area. So yeah, thank you very much. We will stay, all the panelists, at your disposal to answer eventual question. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mathieu.
Thank you.
all.
Bye-bye.
See you
Thank you very
soon.
much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.